Well, I was originally born in Tennessee and I moved here in 2015 because I visited here in 2011 and it felt like home, and God told me that I was going to move here in 2015, and that was definitely a God thing because at the time I was a single mother of four. So I put all my faith in God, and with $1,100 in my pocket, I moved here, and He made the provisions for me to get the jobs that I needed and led me to this church. My dad was a preacher, my grandfather was a preacher, and my great-grandfather was, whose name actually happened to be Owen. My son's name is Owen as well, so that was confirmation that this was the church I needed to be in. I met this wonderful man right here, and he was everything that I had been praying for, but he needed a little work in his area of life. He knew nothing about church, so he started coming to church with me, and our lives changed tremendously. This is the church where I started tithing faithfully, and that brought lots of blessings, job raises, increase. We eventually were able to move into a much larger home, and we got married and blended our families, so we have 5 children together. It's a lot to take care of.
Yeah, I never came from a religious background. Actually, when I met her, I fell in love with the God that was inside of her, actually. And it took me coming to church and actually seeing how she interacts, and I had a lot of questions for a ton of them, like, what's this whole faith thing about? What's this whole tithing thing about? And she pretty much broke it down to me, and it took myself to actually start reading for myself that I found out what it's all about.
It was a struggle, especially before I had him in my life, because I was doing everything on my own still, with no support from my children's father. So when I started that, just a lot of increase started happening, and being in church here just taught me a lot. I learned so much more than I ever knew about tithing, and we were blessed in ways that I can't even imagine, especially with the house that we got. I never thought we would live where we live or be blessed that soon. Like, the increase just started immediately, especially in his job. His job was a blessing. We had needed a better paying job, and he got blessed with that.
The whole tithing thing to me was just, it was a faith-based thing. I never really understood how it worked. I never wanted anything in return. I just figured since I was getting the word that it was only right to give, you know, step out in faith, and it changed my life.
I joined the church. I had been going since June 2015. I joined in August, and after I joined, I started volunteering as a greeter. City Church is like home. It's like a family. When you walk in, you're greeted. Everyone is super nice. I felt like I belonged here immediately. You get good, solid teaching. There's things that I was in church my whole life and I didn't learn until I came here. They feed you spiritually, yes. And there's classes for everything.
My favorite part is the grow groups. Like, if I could suggest anything, it's definitely the grow group. Especially when I first started, I went, I think it was Pastor Ryan, Elder Ryan's class. It was Starting Point, and what better place for me than Starting Point? Right. And I mean, that's where I learned, you know, the fear of the Lord, you know, and it ain't a fear of, you know, being scared of Him. It's a fear of being away from Him.